Hello, welcome back to Joker Recap. Today we are going to explain 2015 movie The Focus. Now let's start the movie. At the beginning of the story we see an American football match, where in the VIP stands a man named Nicky was sitting comfortably with his girlfriend Jazz. The match was going on but Nicky's attention was more on the crowd than on the game. He saw a beautiful girl getting up from her seat and leaving, and at that very moment a naughty idea came to his mind. He made a small bet with Jazz to see how many people would turn around and look at the girl. A man sitting there named Luyan said that he too wanted to take part in this bet, to which Nicky agreed. Everyone jokingly placed a bet of $10 and started counting. When the girl left the stand, finally the full count came that 7 people turned to look at her. In this bet, Jazz had guessed the nearest number. That's why she won the bet. Livian handed over the money without hesitation and then asked to start the next round. This time the condition was who would commit the next foul. Jess walked out saying that she had no knowledge of the game. But Nicky jumped on the bet and placed a $1,000 bet. As soon as the whistle blew, the referee signaled a foul and the team Nicky had bet on turned out to be correct. He won the bet and pocketed the money. Luyan becomes even more excited after losing the bet. He said this time let's bet $5,000. The question this time was whether he would pass the ball or run with it. Nicky was a little hesitant to bet 5,000 rupees. But finally, he agreed. Livian guessed that he would run and Nicky said he would pass it, and as soon as the whistle blew, the player actually ran with the ball. Because of which Nicky now loses $5,000. Now Nicky decided that it does not matter if she lost 5,000 rupees. Let's close it now, and he asked Jazz to come and have coffee. But Luyan persisted. He said that you are sitting in the VIP lounge. You have the money. What happens with $5,000? Play another bet, this time for $10,000, and Nicky finally agrees. And now the question was whether this player would be able to complete the next pass successfully or not. Nicky predicted that yes, he will pass. But the other team intercepted the pass. Now Nicky had lost $15,000. Nicky felt a little worried while taking out the money. He thought for a while and said let's bet on $500 this time. Jazz is shocked to hear this. But Nicky looked angry. Luck was not on his side at this point. He lost the next bet again. After which he had to pay 500 rupees more. Now Jace told him to stop immediately. But Nicky's anger and ego got the better of her. Without thinking, he placed his next bet of $1 lakh. Luyan joked and said, "Do you even have that much money?" Nicky threw an entire bundle of cash on the table without saying much. After this even Luyan got excited. Now Nicky bets that the next pass will be intercepted. It will not be completed. But this time the pass was successful. Nicky had now suffered a loss of millions of dollars. Now he was unable to understand how to get out of this trouble. Jazz was also very surprised by his action. But now the game had reached a very strong level. Nicky said I have $1 million left. Let's place the full bet. Let's see who wins. This time the decision will be made through cards. Luyan was winning continuously, so now he was going crazy with happiness. He started looking at Nicky like an ATM machine. Luyan drew his card, which was the register of 5. Now Nick just had to draw a card bigger than 5. The chance of winning was very high. Nick picked up the card and turned it over with great confidence. But his Tiggy turned out to be Tiggy. Seeing this, Jazz immediately fell down from the chair. When Nicky started the game, she was in the mood to bet only $4,000. But by now, he had lost more than $1 million. That is, around 9 crores. After this humiliating defeat he had nothing left to say. So he silently held Jazz's hand and started taking him out. Was very sad. But Luyan still teased him more. He said that this is the result of playing with his son Ostad. Nicky stays and places another bet of $1 million. Now the idea was a bit new. Nicky challenged Luyan to pick any random player using binoculars, and if Nicky guessed his jersey number correctly then she would win. Luyan was a little confused by this. He said, "Brother, this is a matter to be considered." It seemed to him as if Nicky was hitting his own foot with an axe. He also had a little doubt that Nicky might be cheating. To remove his doubt, Nicky said, "Okay, I won't even guess. This time Jazz will guess." Jazz looked angrily at Nicky. He couldn't understand what was going on. What are the chances that among so many people, the one whose jersey number I call out will be the one? Saying this, she started leaving from there. But Luyan's security guard stops him from leaving and a small scuffle ensues between them. Jas calmed himself down a little. Nikki told him to just look around the ground and say the number that seems like his. Luyan picked up the binoculars and selected a player. After which Jas took the binoculars and scanned the entire field. All he could see were jersey numbers everywhere. How to guess? Then his eyes fell on a familiar face and he remembered Nikki's words that you should choose the number which feels like your own. There his friend Farhad was wearing jersey number 55. Jas understood that all this was a part of Nikki's plan. He said number 55 and that was the correct answer. Luyan was stunned by his response. Jas also wondered for a few moments that how did Nikki know in advance that Luyan would select the same number. But all this was not necessary at this moment. He had won the bet. The two made a profit of $1 million and got back all the money they had lost. He walked out of the stadium carrying 2 large bags full of cash. In the car, Nikki tells Jas that this was all part of their plan. He had been tracking Luyan for a long time. In fact, Luyan was famous in high society for his bad habit of gambling. If anyone placed a bet on him, he would jump in. Nikki's team had made this entire plan. The moment Luyan stepped out of her hotel room, the number 55 was inserted into her subconscious mind. 55 was also written in the security guard's label pin. The same number was also on the signboards on the way to the stadium. And he not only showed him this number but also told him the number. While coming to watch the match, he had a song played in Luyan's car so that he would get the hint of number 55 repeatedly. In that song it sounded like 55,124 times. Due to which Luyan's mind was repeatedly drawn towards that number. He was also shown a photograph of Farhad. Due to which it became a visual memory. While he was looking through the telescope his mind naturally went to the number 55 and Jas said 55 as soon as he saw Farhad. Jas was not told anything in advance so that his expressions remained real throughout the game and no one would suspect him. After hearing all this, Jas was completely impressed with Nikki. After this the story goes a few days back. Just a few days ago, Nikki was on the bed in a room and a man had a gun pointed at his head. Sitting next to him was Jas, whom he had met just a few days ago. It was clearly visible that someone had trapped Nikki in his net. But there was no trace of fear on his face. He straight away said that I don't have a single penny. If you want to fire a bullet then fire it. The man with the gun understood his reactions and immediately recognized that this man was a player. He is a bigger cheater than us, and his guess was absolutely correct. Nick is an excellent thug who commits petty thefts. That too very cleanly. Just as she had trapped him and brought him into this room. So he saw a natural talent in Jas. Jas had not understood anything till that time. Well, when the man with the gun left then Nikki told Jas that you have a gift and if you hone this talent of cheating people well then you can live comfortably all your life. Nikki said that ours is a family business. My father, his father, all were thieves. He is a hereditary thug. Every trick, every move was a game for him. Without wasting any time, Jas took out some money and said that I want to learn from you. Nikki also did not think it necessary to waste time. Even while going out, Nikki stole a ring from Jas and he didn't even realize it. By the time Jas could understand what had happened, her watch was also missing and when she kept the watch in her handbag, Nikki had taken away her wallet. After all these feats, Nikki said that sleight of hand, timing and a bit of style is all that is required for this work. That day Nikki did not say anything to him except goodbye. A few months later, Jas tracked him down in New Orleans, where Nikki started forming a new team. The meeting between them was also actually a test. He wanted to see whether Jas was worthy of joining his team or not. When Jas agreed, Nikki sent him to the fair with a man from the team. Today was Jas's first practical assignment. She took the map in her hand and started asking directions from some people. Then his partner secretly stole a tourist's camera lens. Then another fellow intentionally hit a man and Jas took his wallet. Jas was now starting to gain some confidence in his style of stealing. He took out the wallet from another woman's bag with the help of chopsticks and everything was so smooth that no one even suspected. Nikki was watching all this from the top of a building. He asked the team to leave him alone. Now it is his turn to fly. Jas started stealing expensive things one after the other and with every theft, Nikki's respect for him increased. Now Nikki sent him for another big assignment. This time it was a high-tech fraud. With the help of special lenses, they could see the cards of others and then defeat their own opponents easily. A system for stealing credit cards was also running here. The card would be stolen and secretly passed to a teammate, where a device would copy its data and then the card would go back into the same person's pocket. By the time anyone finds out anything, the entire account would be emptied. Another fraud system was fake ATM machines. Whenever someone withdrew money from the ATM, his PIN would automatically be stored in the machine. Farhad would quietly remove that machine and take away all the data. All the credit cards were kept in different categories and luxury items were purchased with them, and finally their data was sold in the black market. One day Jas saw a beautiful necklace and wore it. But Nikki said take it off immediately. He strictly explained that all the things had to be sold. Nothing should be personal to us. Jas was witnessing fraud of such a big level for the first time. Standing in the middle of a mountain of stolen items was a different kind of feeling. The next day Jas and Farhad were roaming in a rich area. His job was to act. Farhad faints and Jas starts screaming and acting. Please someone help us please. There was a distraction which the rest of the team took advantage of by stealing belongings from the rich people nearby, and then the entire team fled hiding in an ambulance. All this was planned so well that no one could understand anything. They all celebrated together that night. Nikki earned everyone's praise as she earned $1.2 million in just 1 week. The next day everyone in the team was going to separate. All the documents were destroyed and everyone was assured that your money will be transferred to your bank account within a few days. But the old members knew that Nikki still had one last mission left. He gives him 1.2 million rupees in cash and warns Jas not to spend it on gambling. The next morning Nikki took Jas to the VIP lounge of the stadium. He performed the whole drama in front of Jas and showed him how we can make millions of dollars in just a few minutes. By that time, Jas had started to fall a little bit in love with Nikki. He started to think that she was Nikki's girlfriend. That's why he is showing him all this. But from the very beginning, Nikki had included him in her group only to cheat him. When it was all over, Nikki gave him $80 cash and finally said goodbye. Jace looked at her, tears in his eyes. He was heartbroken. On one hand, she was genuinely in love with Nikki. On the other hand, he also felt that $80 was too little. Because Nikki just made $1 million. But there was no place for emotions in Nikki's world, and Jas had now seen her true colors. Almost 3 years later we see a race car pulling into a service station and soon we see Nikki there as well. There was fatigue in his eyes and it was clearly written on his face that the money was about to run out. He had a meeting with Garia, the owner of a race car team, at lunchtime. Garia's research team developed a new algorithm called EXR. But he wanted to increase his chances of winning by improving this algorithm further. For this, he hired Nikki. The plan was very simple. Nikki will pretend to be their chief engineer. He will then pretend that he and Garia have gotten into a fight so that the other teams can fall into his trap. Nikki will then sell a fake version of EXR to the rival team and the real system will be used by Garia's team, ensuring their victory. According to the deal, Nikki was to get €1 million for this work and the earnings from selling the fake system would also be hers. Nikki thought this task was a joke. He could have done such a simple scam even in his sleep. But Garia's butler did not trust him at all. He directly threatened Nikki and said that if you do anything wrong then I will shoot you straight in the chest. Nikki wore a tuxedo and went out to attend a party in the evening. Their plan was to fight in the middle of the crowd. But their plan got ruined when Jess entered the house wearing a red dress and went straight to Garia and hugged him. Seeing this, Nikki's head started spinning. He hadn't seen Jess for 3 years and now she was with someone else and the man who had hired Nikki. Jess calmly came to Nikki and said that now I am not a thug and whatever happened 3 years back has no meaning now. He also said that Garia doesn't know anything about his past relationship with Nikki and said that it would be better if this thing stays under wraps. Nikki was furious after hearing all this. He picked up vodka's glass and emptied it in one go. First he needed to act to fight. Now he was already feeling angry because of the abuse and he started fighting fiercely in front of everybody. The rival racing team loved this drama. Soon the security removed him from the party. But now the rival team's business card was in his hands. The next morning Nikki met the owner of the McLaren team. He told me straight away that it would cost €3 million. I want to sell EXR system. The owner of the race car had no shortage of money, so there was no need for bargaining. He immediately tested the track and the owner was delighted to see the results. Nikki assured that the complete software would be available within 48 hours. On the other hand, Jais met Farhad on the road. Farhad was sent by Nikki. He tells Jas that it was necessary for Nikki to leave 3 years ago. He had no choice. He said that Nikki still loves Jas. Farhad gave a box to Jas inside which was the same necklace which Jas liked. There was no guarantee whether it was real or fake, but that did not matter. Jas's heart melted after seeing that necklace. It came out from Jas's mouth that she cannot trust Nikki. But there was something else written in his eyes. She still felt something for him. Well, soon the day of deal came and Nikki McLaren gave the software to the team owner. In return, a strong man handed him 3 million euros. But Nikki's nature was such that he would not work without risk. He secretly sold every copy of that software to all the racing teams. Every handshake yielded new euros and the person who shook hands took home millions of rupees. Until the race started, no one realized that everyone had the same system. That night, instead of running away, Nikki messaged Jas. If she arrives in time, they both can run away together. Nikki waited but no one came. At the last moment, when he gave up and was about to leave, Jas arrived. But there was no time to run away because at that very moment the same strong man who had given her 3 million euros on behalf of the McLaren team appeared in front of Nikki. Actually, he was Garia's man. Now he knew the truth that Nikki had sold him original software and not fake one. He had no interest in Garia's 1 million euros. Now wearing his full gear he deliberately crashes into Nikki's car. Nikki and Jax are caught after a fatal accident. After tying both of them, all the cash was placed in front of Garia. Garia was very angry with Nikki's action. He had invested 40 million euros in making this program and now all of it was wasted. The biggest thing was that Garia could not understand how Nikki stole the original software. When Nikki didn't say anything, Garia pressed Jas' nose, due to which Jas' breathing stopped and Nikki was heartbroken to see this. He tells her everything, that he aroused Jas's old love for him and made her wear a necklace which had a special chip inside it. As soon as Garia opened the software, Nikki stole his password and data through the necklace. Jas's heart broke after hearing this. Tears started flowing from his eyes. But Garia and his people started laughing. He liked the story but he did not believe Nikki's words. Garia said that Jas did not have any girlfriend. I know she was with me for the money. On the other hand, Jas also confessed that she only wanted to steal his collection of expensive watches. Nikki was shocked that Jas had pretended to be in love with Garia to make her jealous. Now both of them were caught. Garia did not take much time. He asked Butcher how Nikki stole the software. As soon as Nikki started speaking, Butcher opened fire. That bullet entered Nikki straight into her chest. Garia's face turned white. He nervously told Butcher that the money could be earned back. But if I get arrested for murder, my life will be over. He immediately fires Butcher and flees the warehouse. Jas was crying a lot but the Butcher said there was no need to be afraid. He was actually Nikki's man and to be honest, I am her father. The real father. He had intentionally fired the bullet at the side of the heart. He sealed the wound with tape. Blood was removed with a needle and the air pressure in his chest was stabilized. Suddenly Nikki opened her eyes again. He was still alive. The act was a bit crazy, but it worked. A pile of money was lying behind them and all three of them left from there. Nikki was actually an orphan and was raised by this butler. It was he who taught all these stealing skills to Nikki. The rule was to never get emotional. But now, Nikki had really started loving Jas. The butler left them both on the roadside and took away all the money. Nikki did not get anything. But while going to the hospital, Nikki saw in the car that Garia's watch worth 2 lakh euros was in Jas's hand. Both looked at each other and smiled. With this trickery and sleight of hand he will not die of hunger in any corner of the world. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. See you next video.